What on earth is going on with our UK roller coasters, man? Because once again, Thorpe Park's second tallest roller coaster, the extremely fast launching Stealth, has broken down for multiple days, with no comment from the park whatsoever. On the other hand, Alton Towers are busy scheduling the reopening of some of their rides that have been broken for the entire start of the year, and Chessington, alongside many other parks worldwide, have finally started putting the track up for their new 2027 roller coaster. It's all going on because all that and even more has happened this past week in theme parks. Welcome back to Tupperwatupper, which stands for This Past Week in Theme Parks, where we take a look at the news in the past week of theme parks. And I can't lie to you, this past week has been a very busy one, specifically for the UK, and I will delve deep into all of it, so make sure you watch till the end, and make sure you subscribe to the channel as well if you haven't already. We're still on the road to 200,000 subscribers, which is still insane to say, so if you could subscribe to help towards that goal, it'd be greatly appreciated. With that being said, as much as there is quite a lot of news this week, it appears so much of it is so interesting that we're going to have to actually talk about it more than just one or two sentences. So with that being said, the quickfire segment with the quickfire gun, it's jammed. No quickfire segment today, but we are going to get into the news right now. Let me stop waffling, because first up, over in the USA, the Monsters Inc. roller coaster that is being built at Walt Disney's Hollywood World. What the hell just happened? The new coaster coming to Disney's Hollywood Studios in Walt Disney World has now had support for the coaster spotted, and they look to be a light blue colour, which is very interesting. And knowing Disney's sort of timelines and how they build things, we can expect to see that coaster finished in about 2080. But the opposite of slow construction is happening over at Universal Studios Florida, because not only in the Islands of Adventure Park have proper construction walls now gone around that old Poseidon Fury attraction, presumably for a new land or ride in its space, but also in the Studios Park itself, they have already put up and started building Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift, not to be confused with Fast and Furious Hollywood Drift, actually in Hollywood, because this one is going to be a lot different, and it looks a lot different already, because even though it's going to have the same bloody cars running on the tracks, which I wish they did something different for, but oh well. The track and supports have now gone up, and we sort of already knew this, but the supports are a dark blue colour, and the track is a very light blue colour. What is it with all these Florida parks making blue roller coasters? It's a cool colour scheme either way, and it'll look really nice on that skyline. And that's it in America, which is mental. I don't think we've ever had a week that's had so little news from that place. Although knowing me, I'm probably forgetting something major that's happened. But major things are happening over in Asia at some of the Disney parks over there. Because at Disneyland Shanghai, they are currently building the new Spider-Man roller coaster. You're going to be swinging across the skies as Spider-Man. And construction of that appears to be going very well, as support and track have been installed in mass amounts. So hopefully this one doesn't take 40 years to build and open. Every ride in the park might be closed by that point. As a Disney park in Japan, specifically Tokyo Disney Sea, have decided to close one of their most iconic attractions, the Aquatopia ride. Yes, the little boat things that you sit on and it goes round the water really weirdly, but it looks really cool. I remember seeing footage of this ride when I first started looking into Tokyo Disney Sea, seeing how weird and wacky it was, the fact it just goes across the water. It looked a very random ride, but I also in a way kind of wanted to ride it, so I'm very sad that it's going to be closing, and you can have your final rides on that until the 14th of September. And as we slowly fly over, this is my idea of flying now, just moving across my room. Before we get to Europe, I went on the internet and I found this. Yeah, I don't know where I found this, or who sent it to me, or whatever, but what on earth? Oh my god, it goes upside down. This looks amazing. It's like a glorified swing that you like pedal power, and it's supposed to be a flat ride. That is incredible. Get them shipped to all parks around the world. As it appears in Europe, Minecraft seems to be shipping all across the world. Seems like the creators of Minecraft are just in creative mode now, just flying and trying to cover every single theme park. Because Gardaland in Italy, another Merlin-owned theme park, have announced Minecraft Meet the Mobs that will be happening over the summer holidays. Presumably just a meet and greet with Minecraft mobs, which genuinely means we could have a chance to meet a chicken jockey. Is this in preparation and to hype up the brand new Chessington Minecraft world? Or will we begin to see this across other Merlin theme parks such as maybe Heidi Park, Thorpe Park, Alton Towers, or like Sea Lifes and stuff? We just don't know, but I'm assuming they will probably do something somewhere else as well, because this is a very big thing for them. And like I said, the creators of Minecraft are just in creative mode trying to cover every single theme park. Like me! The board and executive committee of Tivoli Gardens, one of the most famous and oldest theme parks in the world, decided to visit Europa Park recently, seeking inspiration, which could mean absolutely anything, but who knows, we might see a Mack ride of some sort come to Tivoli Gardens. Build a Mack Striker, like Voltron. Please. Strasbourg City in France, I've definitely butchered that pronunciation. In their words, they have just installed the rails for their brand new roller coaster, the Vekoma family boomerang coaster called Fireline Redwood. And supposedly that is still set to open for 2026. Better get moving. And we should say better get moving to Gold Rush at Slagharen in the Netherlands, because it stopped moving and valleyed because of the cold weather. But luckily, because of the coaster's layout, they could just sort of attach a rope or a winch to it and sort of pull it through the layout, rather than having to take the entire train off, take it out the back and work on it for ages, and then get it back open. They actually managed to just send it back through and then get it open later on. Wish they could do that for another ride in this country. But after all that, we slowly land in the UK, where genuinely so much is going on, and I don't know where it's all come from. Starting with some good news from Flamingo Land, where the Lost River ride has now started testing. We've obviously seen it go up the lift hill before, seen them working inside whatever that warehouse building is, but now we've actually seen it go down the drop. And as much as we sort of know that it's going to be that simulator style motion platform SimWorks type ordeal inside those warehouse buildings, I still don't get the point in this ride, but I hope they prove to me why it's a good investment, because also in bad news, Flamingo Land has just reported a pre-tax loss of £1.5 million in 2025, which is really sad, because Flamingo Land is one of those parks that you do visit and you do actually have a really good day there, and they were doing so well for the previous few years, but I think recently just the price of the tickets and just the way the park's sort of gone, that's why they've had such a big loss. But hopefully they can get up and running a bit better when this new ride opens, because I really don't want to see the downfall of yet another UK theme park. They're all being sold off or destroyed at this rate. Speaking of parks being sold off, if you're scrolling on Rightmove, you know, trying to buy a new house or maybe some land or something, it appears you can put an offer in for a region of £1.25 million for Greenwood Family Theme Park in Wales. And before I saw this news of this theme park being sold, I had never heard of it before, but it does actually have a cred. Oh, need to get that one. So, you know, if you want that cred too, if every single person that is subscribed to this channel puts in at least £8.23, we'll all be able to afford this, guys. So no, it is really sad to see yet another theme park being sold off, but hopefully, like the ones that have been sold, they are in good hands in the future. But a park that we all thought was going to be sold off, that is literally the biggest theme park in the UK, which has still not been sold off, and I'm confused as to why, Alton Towers, they have been very busy scheduling the reopening of some of their rides that have been broken since the start of the year. Guess we can't play the It Broke theme for that one. Where, of course, the Congo River Rapids and Battle Galleons, the two water rides, they've been scheduled to open in May ever since the start of the season. But the monorail, Skyride, and Runaway Mine Train have all been closed for maintenance. You had a whole winter to do maintenance. Why do you need to do it now? Well, the Runaway Mine Train has now been spotted testing and now states on the app that it will reopen in May as well, seemingly showing that when Congo opens, I think Runaway Mine Train will open on the exact same day. The Skyride has been testing as well, which should mean it's going to open at some point soon, but who knows at this point. And the monorail has been said to reopen from the 25th of April. So when you're seeing this, literally tomorrow. So if you're going to Alton Towers, have fun on the monorail. Brand new ride just opened, guys. I hope to see a 4-hour queue for it. Fingers crossed those all reopen and have no issues going forward. Although with Merlin, you can't promise that. What you can promise, though, is that the Minecraft creators once again have flown in creative mode to another theme park, of course, that being Chessington for Minecraft World. And last week I said about the fact that supports have been spotted in the actual sort of compound they have in their car park, where all the deliveries go, and they've been sort of shipping it over, but there was no actual images of the support up in the site. Whereas you can see now, support and track have now gone vertical at the site. And from the angle that this photo has been taken from, and the angle of the track and where it's traversing, I'd be led to believe that that's the LSM launch that goes to the outside of the area. But that track and support section is all black, but supports for the coaster have been spotted that are bright green, which one could assume is going to be that outside section, and it'll be like the overworld, all green, oh lovely, even though in one of the concept arts it appeared to be pink. But I'll take the green instead. And a shout out to Attraction Source for those images as well. And at the same time, over at our next destination, Thorpe Park, Attraction Source are actually doing an event where you can ride Hyperia and have it to yourselves for an hour and then have a talk from someone at Merlin Magic Making in an event in June. And tickets were released for that in the past week. So go and check that out if you'd like. But like I said, Thorpe Park is our final destination, not that film. Rollercoasters don't do that in real life, where it appears there's some good signs for closed rides and also some bad signs for ones that were open. Starting with Tidal Wave, which does dump 2 bathtubs worth of water over your head. Just a tiny bit of a soak of that ride. That was closed at the start of the season and has now reopened for the rest of the year, hopefully. Which is great to have another water ride open at the park, because Rumble Rapids is obviously no more. And Storm Surge is Storm Surge. So I'm happy Tidal Wave's back, because that has now reopened for hopefully the rest of the year. Zodiac, the Enterprise ride in Lost City, that has been closed since June 2025. Almost been closed a year now, so I guess you could say it broke. Break. I mean, I had to put this on for an It Broke segment, because as you can tell from that version of it, there isn't only one ride at Thorpe Park shut and broke. But what has happened in the past week for Zodiac, though, to make me report on it today? Well, it's actually appeared again on the app, which before this week they genuinely just wiped it off the map, like it was just gone. But now it has returned, and it hasn't returned on any of the queue time boards or anything, but it has been testing, so it appears that Zodiac might be closer to opening than we first thought. And for a short period of time, that was actually on their temporary closures website, saying that it was going to open on a certain date, but now it just says closed for maintenance, as does Tidal Wave, which is back open. That doesn't make sense. They need to replace Tidal Wave on that website with another ride in Amity. That being their hydraulic launch coaster that is very famous at the park, Stealth. Because I already did the intro, but yeah, it broke as well. And much like all of the other closures that have been happening all across UK parks, we have no idea why this has happened. I believe the last day Stealth operated was the 19th of April. So if you're watching this on Friday, it was on last Sunday, or Sunday, if you count Sunday at the start of the week, not at the end, because some people do that. And I even visited the park recently to check it out for myself, and from what they've been doing on it, it seems like a major problem, because they've stuck this sign out that of course says, hey, this isn't open, for some time, and they've actually boarded off the entrance to Stealth Speedway, and the sort of area within Stealth, and you can't even go to the sunken garden anymore. Crying. I did find it quite funny how one of those barriers was a Coca-Cola branded one, which I admire heavily. But the one thing I did spot when I was there was the fact that there wasn't a lot going on at the operator cabin and also the station. The major work seemed to be going on at the bottom of the launch in the sort of oil and motor service building, as they call it. So basically all the mechanisms for the launch itself is in that building, and the doors are wide open there, and at the same time engineers have just been walking all around it. And you know, at first it could just be a cable replacement or something, which they have to do quite often. But at the same time, if I'm hearing the facts correctly, where the launch cable is supposed to survive and be good for about 25,000 launches before it's then supposed to be replaced, that 25,000 launches has definitely not happened since the start of the season, because I'd imagine they'd reach that about halfway through the season, then obviously put the ride down for maintenance and replace that cable, and then obviously it's open again afterwards. But considering there's been no signs of it being closed for maintenance, it's just been listed as closed all day, and the fact that this has come as a very unexpected closure, which in fairness it has only been closed for weekdays, which have been very quiet, so maybe it is intentional, but part of me just thinks that this isn't an intentional closure and it's just dead. Which is really sad, and it's getting to a point now where it must cost a lot of money to upkeep this thing, and it's barely open, so is it worth keeping Stealth around? Fingers crossed Rita closes at Alton Towers so they can use the parts from that, and hopefully that closes before I do my all-day challenge later this year, because I'll be very happy about that. Because Stealth is the better of the two, and I would love to see it stay around, but they might have to do a renovation of some kind to it to keep it up and running in the future and make it less costly, because it probably costs a bomb. What do you think to Stealth closing at Thorpe Park? Why is it broken? Is it intentional planned maintenance, or has it been some freak problem that's come up and they need to fix it ASAP. As per usual, I will keep you updated on when Stealth reopens at Thorpe Park. Knowing me, it will probably open tomorrow, because I literally always say, this ride's broken, and then it opens the next day. Wouldn't be surprised if that is the case, but at the same time, I'd be glad to see it. Leave your thoughts in the comments. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss future episodes of this series, or any videos in between, because I recently posted a video about more problems that UK theme parks are having besides maintenance and stealth braking. So if you want to watch that, click here. It's an interesting video. There's a few good points in there, if I do say so myself. Yeah, I'm ending this video. Bye.